Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the AT-15. It's the British Tier 8 tank destroyer, and it's located on the south spawn of Glacier. And the name of the commander is BetimAbazi. Now, he's a regular who sent in replays to us before, and I think this one is worth some viewing. He's got one mark of excellence on his barrel, and I think he's going to take this AT-15 for quite a good spin. Battle has started, and everyone's moving away from the spawn point. Well, most people are. Now, he's armed with a 20-pounder AT gun. It's only one of a number of guns that you can actually get on this Arty, on this tank destroyer, rather, I should say. You can actually get the 32-pounder gun on this tank destroyer. But in actual fact, we can see here that he's got the 83.4mm, which has got damage of 230 and penetration of 226, and that identifies it as the 20-pounder gun. Whoa, MT25 went up with an ammo rack there, right in the distance. And we've got an AMX M445 who's camping the cap rubber. He's in totally the wrong position. He should be up in the northwest corner of the map, not sitting here in the open near the cap area. Well, that AMX M4, if he stays there, he's just going to be a flaming nuisance for BetimAbazi, because he's going to attract fire, and all that's going to happen is he's not going to get any kills. He's just going to get hit by the enemy, because they'll spot him. They will spot him. He's a big, heavy tank, and he's not supposed to be here. He's actually acting as a hindrance to Betim. Well, we're losing some tanks. We've lost two already. There's a heavy tank number 6 just behind that rock formation. And I think I just saw a Type 64 near the middle there. Well, the AMX M445 is firing a T26E5, and I'm sure that tank's going to fire back at him if he's not careful. And he does, yep, and the AMX M445's lost some hit points. Well, he is a bit of a noob. I can see he's lost some more now. I can see that he's a bit of a noob because he's actually got a little orange star next to his name, and that identifies what sort of player he is. And there we've got Type 64 poking the ridgeline, doing a quick look around, try and spot somebody. And now the AMX M445 is trying to use Betim as a shield. Betim's got that T26E5, the one that damaged the AMX M4. Coming up to that centre of those rocks, and he's aiming at the passage just in case he makes a trip through. Not that I think that T26 would be stupid enough to do that, because it is a bit of a daft thing to do. Ah, there he is, he's ridgeline. He's using his hull down position. He's got a very tough turret. Oh, he's just bounced around off Betim. Oh, and look at that! The AMX M445 drove right in front of Betim's gun, just when he was firing at the enemy. What a silly thing to do. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That player needs to learn. Betim is bouncing rounds from the T26, but the T26 is also bouncing rounds from Betim. They can't get through each other's armour. It's very tough to get through an AT-15, and if you want to have a look at the AT-15 in any detail, you can see that it actually does look very much like the Tortoise, and that's because it is the predecessor of the Tortoise. And there's a Type 64 that was on the centre line, has now moved up, and because nobody has managed to go on east along the road around the perimeter, except one tank, and it's the Type 59. There's a T-43, fires around in at him. I think he might have got a hit there. There's the T-43. He's also aimed and got a hit. 223. Fires another one in. Gets another hit. But he's lost sight of the T-43. He's probably still there. Okay, he's moving. Oh, no. Be careful. T-43 jousting with a Type 59. Fires around. Oh my god, he's taken out the Type 59. He took out his teammates. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that means he probably won't get a high caliber now, and he gets around into the Type T150s to track him, and he's been killed immediately afterwards. So we picked up 437 hit points of track assist there, but we just got hit by the stunned by the enemy Arty. There's 2 Arty on the enemy team, an M12 and an SU-14-1, both tier 7. Oh, AMX 1357's come up onto the rise. We're turning as rapidly as we can. He's locked on and takes him out with one shot. Gets hit by the Type 64, blocks the shot. Turning to face the Type 64, but can't see him. He must be somewhere near those bushes. The trouble is the Type 64 is fairly stealthy. It is a life tank after all. So he could be anywhere in those bushes or trees, shooting at us, and we can't see him using the bush mechanic. So he was last seen in grid square H5, and the enemies managed to move around, and they've actually got to just north of the cap now, and our heavy tank's just been taken out. It's now just BetimAbazi and 2 Arty versus 7 of the enemy. And we just looked, our viewfinder's just been hit by the Type 64. He managed to get around in. Let's have a look and see exactly where that went in. Oh, there it is, yeah. You can see just into the viewports. So it's very difficult to do damage to an AT-15 unless you either use a lot of HE or you fire very accurately with a good armor penetrating shot. And he's got a wreck to cover him now from an enemy Jackson who's just behind him, just fired into his side, and he blocked damage of 240, but he got a shot on that SU-101. He stopped to take careful aim, fires at the SU-101, but he didn't get a penetration, but we lost our M12. We get one into the lower plate of the SU-101, 208. Another round in. Oh, that goes below the SU-101. That works. That went into the lower plate. 258. One more shot. Oh, it goes underneath again. Can we get a shot in? Yes! Got him this time. But there's an SU-100 just trying to come up the rise there. 6 enemies at the moment versus 2. Now, the Jackson was somewhere behind us. We don't know where he is now. Oh, there he is. He's come up. Trying to get around into his Type 64. Bounces around. So does the Jackson. Okay, we're moving for the SU-100. We locked on. Fire around him. We actually suffer from damage from the Type 64 now. Take out the SU-100. The Type 64 is running, but it's no good. He's gone. 45 hit points. That's... Oh my god! His own teammate, the M12, was taken out, well, the GW Panther rather, was taken out by the M12 just before he killed both of those enemies. So, in fact, it's a Kolobanov Medal. If he can kill all of these enemies, gets the Jackson, goes for the Chiri, gets one shot in, the Chiri hits him, damages him. Turning around, can he get the Chiri with the next shot? Oh, he's gone behind the rock now. He can't get down. Plus, of course, there's a worry about the enemy Arty. The enemy Arty might be waiting for him.
Where did they go?
Now, my guess is that Chiri's gone around the other side, trying to come up the other side. And Betim's looking that way, so I think he thinks that as well. Okay, now the Chiri can't see what Betim's doing, and he has to guess, I suppose, that Betim's going to be camping on that particular rock because he's been there for most of the battle. But Betim's going to have a quick look round the other side, see if he can spot that Chiri. So a quick peek. Turning. Oh, there's the Chiri! And he's fired and missed, and yes, we got him! Oh, ouch! That was the enemy Arty, the SU-14-1. Now, we have been tracked, but, and the good news is, the enemy can't see us anymore. It's too late. All the enemy are now dead on this side of the map, so they don't know where we are. We did suffer damage from the SU-14-1, 184 hit points, but we've still got most of our hit points intact, 1,143 Is that 42? 42. Okay, now, does he go to the other end and try and cap out, or does he stay here and try and defend the cap? Well, I would go and start capping at the other end now, because there's only 2 Arty left. Oh, there's one of them! It's the M12, and that's why he didn't fire! He was on the move at the time, that's why he couldn't shoot at us. Okay, well, hopefully the M12 didn't see us, and I don't think he did, because the Sixth Sense didn't go off. I'm not sure if BetimAbazi's got Sixth Sense, but I'm pretty sure he will. Now, he has actually got 6 kills at the moment. It says 5 on the list at the top, but he did kill one of his own teammates, and because he killed one of his own teammates, he can't get the high caliber. There's the M12.
Ready to fire.
Fires one round in. The M12 shotguns him for 115, but he won't survive the next shot, and that's it. Good night, M12. So he has got the top gun now. Now it's just a question of getting to the enemy cap as quickly as we can and capping out, because there's very little time left on this game. I say it's 1 versus 1. It's the SU-14-1 versus the AT-15. But there's 4 minutes 4 seconds still left on the clock, so he needs to move, get over the other side, start capping, because if he doesn't cap, he won't be able to, and it'll end up as a draw. If he tries to hunt for the enemy Arty, then I think he will run out of time. My guess is that the SU-14-1, as slow as it is, and it is a very slow, heavy Arty, has probably moved away from his firing position near the enemy cap. I reckon he's probably gone west, but I could be wrong. He might have travelled south, going along the perimeter road. Now, the reason I think he might have gone west is because at least then he'll be able to fire back at the enemy cap. But if he goes south, he might get himself in a position where he can't fire at the cap at all. Mind you, the other thing is, if he goes up the perimeter road, then the perimeter road does have lots of cover that he can hide in. So maybe he did go south along the perimeter road. But I think he has to guess that BetimAbazi has definitely come, as the crow flies, in a straight line from his own cap to the enemy cap. Now, the reload time on the SU-14-1 is definitely over 30 seconds. So, especially if he's got the 203mm gun. So, he won't be able to fire that many rounds at BetimAbazi whilst he's in the cap. In fact, the best thing he could do would be to stand off from a distance, close enough so he can actually see BetimAbazi, but not so close that he can be spotted, and then to shoot at BetimAbazi in the cap once he's attained enough cap points, and he's now capping, and that way he'll pick up a defender medal. Well, Betim's staying absolutely still in the cap. My preference, if you've got an opposing Arty and you don't know where they are, my preference would be to actually circle the cap. And if you keep circling, you keep changing your position, that means the Arty has to keep changing their aim, which means their reticule will be larger and it'll be more difficult for them to hit you. Of course, that doesn't work if it's a short-range Arty, but again, short-range Arty, he would need to see where you are. But if you keep circling within the cap area, the chances of him hitting you are very, very slim. Okay, still got more than 50 seconds to go before he can cap out. And the enemy hasn't fired yet, and the length of time now needed before he does cap out means that I think that the enemy Arty is going to be saving his shot for the very last second before he fires in to try and get that reset. Okay, that's the minute hooter. There's only 1 minute left in the game. There's only 22 seconds left on the clock to cap out. There's the enemy Arty shot, so he hasn't got enough time to reload and fire another round in, and so it's impossible for the enemy to win, and he's just going to go and sit in the shell crater because the enemy won't fire at the same spot twice, And that's it. He's capped out. He's won. He's got himself a Kolobanov. And I'm sure that BetimAbazi is very, very happy indeed. Wow. So here's the end of battle result. It's an ace tank by BetimAbazi in the AC-15. He also picked up a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 8 in that battle. A duelist badge for taking down 2 enemies who did damage to him during the battle. A fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. And a shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. And here's the good ones. He managed to get the medal that everyone would like to get. The Kolobanov Medal for standing alone against at least 5 enemies. In fact, he stood alone against 6 enemy and won, because there were 6 enemy alive at the moment that his teammate and the GW Panther was taken out by the M12. He also picked up a cool headed for bouncing at least 10 ricochets or non-penetrations in a row, and that's testament to the armor on the AT-15, which is really wicked, just like the armor on the Tortoise. He also picked up a steel wall for blocking at least, well, blocking for receiving at least 11 shots from enemy members, and blocking at least a potential damage of 1,000 hit points and surviving the battle. He got an Invader medal for getting at least 80 cap points and capping out to win. And lastly, he got a Top Gun. In fact, actually, he only needed 6 kills for the Top Gun, but he did get 7 kills, and one of those kills was fortunately the Type 59 on his own team. So he did manage to get 6 kills of the enemy, and that qualifies for the Top Gun, but he doesn't get the high caliber because obviously he killed a teammate during the battle, and so unfortunately that disqualifies him from the high caliber. Let's have a look at team scores, see how we did. Well, he did get the highest damage, so he would have qualified for a high caliber if he hadn't killed the Type 59. He got 3,172 hit points of damage. The highest that the next highest scorer was the AMX CDC. He managed to get 1,950 hit points, and then came the SU-14-1, who managed to get 1,919. But unfortunately didn't failed to get that reset, and obviously then denied himself the Defender medal. The highest other score on his team was the Type 59 he accidentally team killed, who managed to get 1,594. Now the T-43 should have actually picked up a lucky medal as well, because he was killed by well, rather he was next to the Type 59 at the moment. He was killed by BetimAbazi, and so obviously that should qualify him for the lucky medal, but it doesn't show there. Anyway, when it comes to kills, it's BetimAbazi with the highest number. He got 6. Next highest scorer is the M36 Jackson on the enemy team. He managed to get 5. Of course, was killed by Betim. And then came the Type 59. He managed to get 3 kills. When it came to base XP, of course, it's BetimAbazi. He managed to get 1,354 in that battle. Next highest score was the Type 59 with 833, and then the Type 3485 with 589. So let's have a look at the detail report. He fired 36 rounds of ammunition during the battle. He got 21 direct hits, 19 penetration, damage of 3,172 hit points, of which 1,793 were at more than 300 meters. He received 21 hits from the enemy during that battle. Only 2 of them were penetrations, and I believe 2 of them came from... one of them came from the... no, 2 of them came from the Type 64, yes, definitely. And he also got 19 non-penetrations, rounds that just literally bounced off his armor. He also received 2 hits as a result of splash damage. One was from the SU-14-1, which actually managed to fire at him when he killed the G-Re. The other was from the M12, who shotgunned him right in the face, but it wasn't enough to do any damage. He blocked damage of 3,600 hit points during the battle. He did damage and killed the Type 59, and he did 116 hit points of damage to him. He spotted 1 enemy vehicle, that was the M12. He damaged 10 of the enemy, 2/3 of the enemy team, and killed 7 of them. And he did damage assistance of 934 hit points. He managed to get 100 capture points during that battle. So obviously he only needed 80 for the Invader, but he managed to get 100. And he also picked up 48,404 credits. And after the fine for hitting the Type 59 of 1,095, and after the repair, ammunition resupply and consumables, he still took away 12,976 credits profit. he received 2031 XP, -3 for the fine for the damage on Type 59, so he took away 2028 experience points altogether. But I think that was an absolutely brilliant round, because it shows how strong, how tough the AT-15 really is. And of course it is the predecessor of the Tortoise, designed during the war to be a heavy assault tank, but wasn't actually built. But oh boy, he really showed how it can block the damage like a king. And in fact, actually, he wasn't damaged by that many of the enemy. In fact, most of the damage he did receive were on weak points, not on the actual main armor of the vehicle. Of course, the Type 64 managed to get that round through the viewport, and then obviously he did get another round, penetrating round, later on during the battle. But fantastic round there, Betim, and thank you very much indeed for sending in this replay. It's very nice to do a Kolobanov replay for one of our Arty Noobs members, because we always like showing off the replays of the members to show how good they really are. They may be Arty Noobs, but they're no noobs when it comes to playing the game. They are actually quite good players. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.